uncovering the lives of two Stone Age sisters. In a shocking glimpse into the past, researchers have unveiled hyper-realistic reconstructions of two Stone Age sisters who lived and worked in a brutal mining community over 6,000 years ago in what is now the Czech Republic. The stunning 3D models are based on a new analysis of their remains, which were unearthed from a prehistoric chert mine in the South Moravian region. But here's where it gets controversial. New evidence suggests these sisters were exploited for their labor, forced to extract heavy rocks for tools and weapons in a society that preyed on the vulnerable. The sisters were buried one on top of the other in a mining shaft, likely because they had worked there, according to study co-author Martin Oliver. While their skeletons showed no signs of violent death or disease, it's possible they were sacrificed or put down when they could no longer work due to injuries. And this is the part most people miss. The burials contain perplexing details that continue to puzzle scientists, like the remains of a small dog and a newborn baby with no genetic relation to either woman. Analysis revealed the sisters were well-nourished and strong in adulthood, but poorly fed, weak and diseased as children. Their skeletons showed signs of heavy strain and half-healed injuries, with evidence the older sister was made to work despite a forearm fracture. The researchers believe this coincides with the rise of a new social order that exploited the most vulnerable. But what do you think? Were these sisters victims of a cruel system, or is there more to their story? Let us know in the comments. The reconstructions, made of plaster and silicone with eye prostheses and hair implants, depict the younger sister with hazel or green eyes and dark hair, and the older with blue eyes and blonde hair. Their garments, based on textile fragments from the time, are made of plant fibers like flax and nettles. While we may never know the full story behind these remarkable women, their reconstructions offer a haunting window into a long-lost world. Uncovering the lives of ancient sister miners, a 6,000-year-old ritual burial revealed. Unearthing the past, the discovery of ancient female miners. A remarkable archaeological find in the Krumlov forest is transforming our understanding of prehistoric existence, offering an astonishing insight into ancient mining practices, the roles of women in labor, and burial rituals that date back over 6,000 years. Researchers have uncovered the remains of two women and a newborn, interred deep within shaft number 4, which is part of one of Europe's largest prehistoric chert mining complexes. These burials, linked to the late Lengyel culture, 4,340 to 4,050 BCE, provide a rare and intricate view into the challenging lives and complex rituals of Neolithic communities. Buried for centuries, a ritualistic interment. Excavations at this significant site have revealed the skeletons of two adult females alongside a full-term newborn. One of the most fascinating elements of this discovery is the apparent ritualistic nature of the burial. The upper skeleton was found with the newborn delicately placed on her chest, accompanied by a dog skull and other bones arranged nearby, suggesting a deeper symbolic meaning rather than a conventional burial. Carbon dating has confirmed the age of these remains, situating them firmly in the transitional phase between the Neolithic and Enolithic periods. Both women were relatively short, approximately 146 to 148 centimeters, and exhibited signs of malnutrition during childhood. However, their adult skeletons displayed significant muscular attachments and vertebral damage, indicating a life filled with physical labor. Women in the mines, laborers or victims. This discovery calls into question long-standing beliefs about gender roles in prehistoric mining. Dr. Zdeněk Tvrdý, the lead anthropologist on the project, noted, both women exhibited considerable spinal stress, Schmall's nodes, and even spondylitis. These conditions are consistent with the demands of carrying heavy loads, likely while working in a forward-bent position typical of mining activities. One of the skeletons, H2A, displayed a poorly healed fracture in the ulna, which formed a pseudoarthrosis, strongly indicating that this woman continued to work despite a significant injury. The researchers propose that these women were not merely ritual sacrifices, but were likely active laborers in the mines, possibly compelled to endure hard labor due to their physical vulnerabilities and social standing. DNA insights. Who were these women? Ancient DNA analysis has revealed a genetic connection between the two women, suggesting they may have been sisters, while the newborn was not biologically related to either. The DNA findings also indicated that one woman likely had green or hazel eyes, while the other probably had blue eyes, providing a unique opportunity for realistic 3D facial reconstructions based on skeletal data. Isotopic analysis of strontium, carbon, and nitrogen confirmed that these women were locals who consumed a protein-rich diet, which was unusual for Neolithic populations in the area. The isotope ratios indicated that meat constituted a significantly larger portion of their diet compared to neighboring communities, possibly essential for supporting their physically demanding work. Technological innovations. Hyperrealistic facial reconstructions. Using advanced 3D modeling techniques, researchers have reconstructed the faces of the two women. These silicone busts are now part of an exhibit at the Anthropos Pavilion of the Moravian Museum in Brno. These reconstructions are not mere artistic representations, they are grounded in precise cranial measurements, genetic phenotyping, and archaeological textile evidence. These lifelike models bring history to life, stated Eva Vanichkova, the lead artist behind the reconstructions. They allow us to gaze into the eyes of two individuals who lived, endured, and labored thousands of years ago. A sacred landscape of work and ritual. The Krumlov Forest has long been recognized as a significant site for prehistoric chert mining, primarily used for crafting stone tools. However, the growing evidence of ritualistic activities, including burials in deep shafts, has prompted researchers to reconsider the forest as a sacred space, potentially serving as a symbolic gateway to the underworld. Archaeologist Martin Oliva remarked, "This site was not just industrial. It held spiritual significance. These burials may represent rituals of reconciliation, returning the deceased, or even the miners themselves, back to the earth." Conclusion. An intriguing archaeological enigma. Despite nearly 30 years of excavation in the Krumlov Forest, were these women honored workers, enslaved individuals, or sacrificial offerings? The answer may still be hidden beneath the earth. But thanks to modern science and interdisciplinary collaboration, the past is gradually revealing its secrets. As researchers prepare for further DNA and proteomic analysis using next-generation sequencing, NGS, the narrative of the Krumlov women is far from complete. Uncovering the faces of two Neolithic sisters, 6,000-year-old mining mystery. Unveiling the haunting faces of two Neolithic sisters, a glimpse into a brutal, ancient life. Imagine toiling deep within a mine, day in and day out, despite the toll it takes on your fragile body. This was the stark reality for two sisters, approximately 6,000 years ago, in what is now the Czech Republic. Their story, painstakingly reconstructed by archaeologists, is one of hardship, mystery, and a glimpse into the lives of women in the Neolithic era. The discovery and reconstruction. Archaeologists stumbled upon the sisters' skeletons over 15 years ago in the Krumlov Forest, a region boasting one of Europe's largest chert mining fields. Chert, a vital resource for crafting stone tools and weapons, was the likely reason for the mine's existence. The women's remains were found in a mine shaft, buried one on top of the other, along with a small dog and a newborn baby, who had been placed on one of the women's chests. The dog's remains, however, were puzzlingly split between the two skeletons. Using radiocarbon dating, researchers pinpointed the sisters' lives to between 4050 and 4340 BCE. Genetic testing confirmed the women were related, likely sisters, while the baby was unrelated to either. But here's where it gets intriguing. The cause of their death remains a mystery, with no signs of disease or violence. Were they sacrificed in a ritual to appease the earth, as some speculate, or were they put down when their labor was no longer viable? A life of hardship. Analysis of their teeth and skeletons painted a vivid picture of the sisters' lives. Both were slender, short, under 5 feet tall, and had endured a childhood marked by weakness, disease, and poor nutrition. As adults, their diet improved, indicating a possible increase in social status or access to better resources. However, their bodies bore the brunt of hard labor, with evidence of carrying heavy loads in a hunched position. One sister even continued to work with a fractured forearm. Facial reconstructions, bringing the past to life. To create the hauntingly realistic 3D busts now on display at the Mooradian Museum, researchers combined well-preserved skull data with eye prostheses, hair, and other finer details. The younger sister, aged 30 to 35, likely had dark hair and hazel or green eyes, while the older sister, 35 to 40, probably boasted blonde hair and blue eyes. The unanswered questions. Why were they working in the mine? Was it by force, due to the rising power of men? Or did their small stature offer a unique advantage in narrow spaces? What led to their deaths? Ritual sacrifice, the end of their usefulness, or something entirely different? What can their story tell us about women's roles in the Neolithic era? Do you believe the sisters were sacrificed? Or is there another explanation for their mysterious deaths? How do you think their story reflects the broader societal dynamics of their time? Join the conversation in the comments below.